And I called it Oregon because outside, if you're familiar with Dane County, outside of the city of Madison is the city of Oregon, right? So I called it Oregon. And we had Wags big speakers that were in this vehicle that we broadcast from, state of the art at the time. Actually, it was a van that was kind of dumpy. But so people came up to the van and said, sir, very polite. And they were decked out in their green, looked like kind of pseudo Packer fans with their color, the Duck fans. And they said, sir, I just want to correct you. It's not Oregon. It's Oregon. Okay? It's Oregon. So it's Oregon tonight. Number one ranked Oregon tonight.
Did you say, well, sometimes people call it Wisconsin, too.
Wisconsin, yeah.
So it happens.
See, that's the thing with a name like Wagner. They never mispronounce it, right, Wags? Never?
Oh, yeah, they do. Sometimes it's a four-letter word. Sometimes, they mispronounce Wagner a lot. They misspell it. They yell it. They read it a lot of times.
If they flip into Leland speak, then I get it, okay? Mysteriously, it starts with an F-U. I don't know why, but it just did back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that four-letter word, and then the other one, the POS one. Yeah, there's lots of Wagner. Wagner comes across in many different terms.
It's different dialects, I believe they call that.
So I have to give a love to one of our co-hosts today, Wags. And it's not you. So it has to be Eric Tasker. I learned something about Tasker at a little dinner the other night.
Ooh, oh boy.
So I'm walking through the sales area here in the Megaplex, and I noticed there's like the two big chiefs in the sales department, and then there's a third office next to him. And I noticed our compadre sitting in the office working away. So I thought maybe, because that office has been vacant. And I thought, well, maybe he just needed some private space to go finally sell something for the show. Mm-hmm. Well, what I found out was, kudos, he won a contest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bigwig in the corner office.
And he got to be bigwig for a week. That's what he got.
A quarter.
Oh.
A quarter.
And then the rumor was, what I was told to say, you became lonely in your big office.
I did.
So then you started walking the hallways again.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I'm starting to realize that maybe they put me in that office to, it's like solitary confinement.
It's called isolation.
Yes. And it gets very lonely in that corner office, and I have no idea what the buzz is on the sales floor anymore. So I have to go out there, and I have to, get my chatter out, and then I get to come in and we get to do this show. So it's nice, but it is lonely. Yeah.
So we have that going on. So kudos to you, Eric, for getting that honor. But I was eager to get in today. You know why? Because I'm waiting. I was waiting for an update from another Wags. Did we have another Boaz road trip in you this week? Did we?
Oh, no, but I sent some pictures. No nice harvests. A lot of walk unders. I don't know if I sent out, include you on that. A couple nice videos. There's some nice deer in that area. But we will be back out there. Probably I will be out there. The others will be there for opening gun. I may go out there between opening and Thanksgiving, but I will definitely be out there for muzzleloader. And I don't know if I'm going to use a muzzleloader or I may just use my bow as well, which I think I may go that route as well.
Yeah, it's been fun seeing some of these pictures or videos that you've sent because, one of the guys that's hunting out there harvested a nice buck. And it's cool to see that, and I'm getting that a lot from a few of my buddies that still haven't harvested their deer for this year. And it's frustrating, Wags, because it's like, holy crap, those are nice deer. Why are you letting them walk? And then you see, oh yeah, there's deer that are
there's bigger deer behind them,
significantly larger. Yeah. And one of my buddies sent me a video, and he's like, "Yeah, I passed on this one." And I was like, "I would die for that deer." And he's like, "Well, it was all busted up on one side, so it looked basically like a full rack on one side and just the main beam on the other side." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fair, but
Wags, these are people that have way too much time in their hands."
Exactly. But here's one. I know we're going veering, but in Boaz, in the area, there was a dead, nice buck, a really nice buck, and he was dead. we feared somebody poached it. We were looking for maybe a hole, maybe a 22 hole. Then we thought maybe EHD. We thought maybe CWD. We talked to the DNR. She told us that you check for the hooves or the feet. They should be curved. There was no sign of EHD or CWD. So we were good with that. We flipped this body over multiple times looking for a small penetration hole. None to be found. Did he die of a heart attack? Did he just get beat up hunting or fighting? I mean, did he just get beat up? So what they told us to do is they said, when you take his crane, something with his head, there's a slot where you make a cut. And they've seen this in the past where you get gorged or some type of an infection gets into this. Have you heard this?
Yeah, and no, I haven't, but I guess it makes sense. You figure from just like battling out there that they can get poked and he must have got an infection, and it says it can onset within 72 hours, and it's actually a green. When it hits the oxygen, it comes out gooey, like maybe like a,
like
I don't know,
slime?
like glue.
Or, you know, like
like slime, but not colored.
Yeah.
But does not come out green. It comes out slimy like phlegm, and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's not green. But once it hits the oxygen or it hits air, within moments, it turns green, and that is what it is. So we don't know, but there's also a buck running around with his eye kind of like gouged out. Really, really nice one. Okay. And they were like, what the hell's going on here? I mean, is this Halloween? But no, there's also a real tight racked tall, and I think I sent that picture to you. He's tight. He's probably inside the ears. Now, let's just say the ears, we always assume about 16 inches. Let's just say he's till like 10 inches. I'm just making up a small number, but he's like 30 inches long. So when he fights, he's tall. He gets inside all of these big bucks' racks, and we're just trying to figure out how the damage is done. How are these bucks getting hurt, and where is it happening? So we've pinned it on this unfortunate, skinny, tall buck, and he's on number one on the hit list.
Let me ask you guys a question, and maybe it falls into the category of ethics. So, Wags, in that scenario you just described to us, if you find a deer like that, and let's say it has a really nice rack on it, and you know it's dead, and you've done everything you can do it, do you salvage the horns?
Yeah, we did. We
you?
did. We talked to the DNR. We talked to Eric's buddy. Our friends, or the guys that I hunt with up there, are real good with Randy as well. And I know Eric uses Tomlinson taxidermy a lot. They're good buddies with him too. And he's going to get us a cape, or get them a cape, and we're going to get a cape for it. But yeah, we're going to save it. We're going to give it some honor. We're going to give it some honor.
Yeah, and the DNR is usually pretty good about that, especially if they come, they check it out, they, do their due diligence on it and see that there's no foul play with it. They'll give you a salvage tag or however that ends up working. So that's awesome though. And cool for you guys or your group that's like the first deer from that property. Really.
Right.
Whereas maybe normally you might, cut the horns off and use them as rattling antlers or whatever it might be. This one's got some significance to it because it's the first one that you guys have gotten out there, or, that has been dead out there.
Well, there always will be, like in baseball, Wags, there always will be an asterisk next to this deer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys didn't harvest it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you'll have that right.
Yeah.
That's the first, but and there'll be
here's the story.
Yeah.
Here's the story.
Yeah.
The story.
Good story.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Speaking of stories, we have a lot of stuff to get into on the show today. A lot of deer-related stories to get to. I brought up the antler question because I know, Eric, we want to talk a little bit about that, about sheds, antlers, and the Boy Scouts and what they have in common. Let's get back to what we do, which is Tailgate Talk. Glad to have you with us on the program today. Tasker Yellowstone is a craze now, right? The TV show, because this supposedly is the last year of it.
Right.
It's loosely based on they kind of live in Yellowstone and they got to land in Yellowstone. Do you guys watch it?
I do.
Do you? How about you, Wax? Do you watch Yellowstone?
I do.
Yeah, you're hooked? Yeah, see, my Vice, I've watched it a little bit, but it's got really crazy. I'm a big Tulsa King guy now,
okay,
with Sly.
I just heard that.
It's a good series.
So did I.
The same guy that did Yellowstone,
Taylor
Sheridan,
Sheridan, yeah.
He did Tulsa King too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Sly's kind of cheesy, but kind of like this show.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring up Yellowstone is because you had an interesting story today about Boy Scouts, Yellowstone, and what they have in common.
Yeah, it's funny how I stumbled on this. So as we're getting into the holiday season, I keep seeing Wags. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but the people who have like, I don't know, probably $100,000 worth of sheds, and they do the big elk sheds on the bottom and the moose sheds and whatever, and then they build up a Christmas tree and decorate it with lights. Have you seen that?
No, I mean, I know there's so many things you can do with the sheds that I found, but yeah.
So they kind of build it so that it kind of is like a teepee or the shape of a Christmas tree. And my mom actually sent it to me, and my response back was, that's got to be $100,000 worth of sheds. Just so many. And she said, well, maybe it's all from the Boy Scouts. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so she sends me this article, and it talks about how at Yellowstone every year, the Boy Scouts actually, like the Wyoming Boy Scouts, actually get first dibs and early access for shed hunting. So they actually get early privilege in order to do that. And what happens is they end up, for decades now, it says, the Scouts have been exclusively allowed to go onto the elk refuge early and gather antlers. They pile them, and they can be picked up by refuge employees, because only employees are authorized to haul them off the refuge. So they actually get to go down into this protected area and be able to go there. And then what they do is they sort the antlers. The largest ones and the ones that are in the best shape are reserved for sale. And then what they end up doing is they'll use it to build furniture, chandeliers, similar items, all that stuff that you can get with that. And then the lower quality ones are usually bought by people that end up cutting them up and sell the pieces as dog chews or whatever that might be. But this year, the Scouts, they actually auction them off as a part of their annual Elk Fest event in May. And in a typical year, the auction will raise about $270,000 to $280,000 for the Boy Scouts.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they say then that the net proceeds, 75% are actually put back into the elk refuge, just for habitat and whatever they might need. And 25% goes to fund the Scout troops across western Wyoming. How cool is that for a way to bring youth into the outdoors and teach them about shed hunting and teach them about wildlife and conservation and all of those different things that seems to be fading in so many parts of the country, but to be able to give them that opportunity. And it's like something that, maybe they don't realize how exclusive that is, but how cool for them to be able to get that early access, and then also obviously to raise money for their troop.
No, absolutely. Something you never would have thought, or it's something that, like you've said, we know they're there. Everybody knows they're there, but where do they go? And that's a good story. That's a great story.
Yeah, and it turns out that this elk refuge is actually in the lowland, because that's typically where they will actually shed. And so the elk refuge is in this bottomland or whatever they call it. So they get access to go in there first, and then everybody else has to start outside of the elk refuge. So they're able to really, kind of make hay while they have that early access, which is just, it's such a cool way for them to be able to
selling
do
popcorn.
That. Yeah, that's
or maybe the Yellowstone, maybe they're just being ingenious and they say, you know what, down there in that sanctuary, it's tough to go. If they're going to bring out $100,000, let's send the kids down there. We keep 75%, and they can go down.
It's like having the kids going to a golf course, right? Scooping for golf balls.
Yeah, go out there in the pond
right?
over there and pick out all those golf
We'll give you 2 cents or 5 cents for every ball that you pull out, fellas. That's right.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just, I know it's not really shed season at all, but the Christmas tree antlers, and just kind of thinking about that got me kind of down this rabbit hole. And I actually ended up finding numbers for the 2-day statewide youth hunt, and there are 7,400 happy youth hunters from this season. So
are you surprised by that number? Because I'm not, and I'll tell you why. I just noticed I left the story in here from last week's show about the people that are shooting trap now, clay pigeons, whatever you want to call it. If you have that type of participation in that, some of those numbers, Wags, have to translate into youth hunts, don't they?
I think you're right. And it's good to hear that because we talked about what you brought up last week. Now we're talking about 7,400 youths harvesting. You know what? These numbers, I wish we could compare these numbers. So this is 2024 youth hunt. Yep. I wonder, like, even back in like 2018 or 20, like how has the harvest numbers increased or decreased over time? That's something, a timeline I would love to see.
So I don't have the full timeline here from this article, but it does say that it's a drop of 8% from 2023. Now they don't have any license sales data as an indicator of like hunter effort. So are the numbers overall up or down for the youth? They don't have that specifically broken out here yet, but they're saying that, you know, the deer population is definitely increasing because of the extremely mild 2023-24 winter that we just came through. And then they said that the DNR actually rated the entire state as very mild for all 72 counties. And then here it says the average in northern Wisconsin was a record low value of 10, which I don't even know what that is referencing. The index. Oh, okay. So their index rating.
So the numbers are down across the state, and where the numbers typically are heaviest from a hunting standpoint, those are down the most.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, Wags, when you think about it.
Yeah, I'm with you. That is crazy. I never would have guessed that. I would have thought everything would have been on the rise up, especially coming out of the COVID age where we were trying to find things where we could do things and we thought we could rejuvenate, whether it be kayaking, biking, hunting, outdoor activities. I thought these numbers would continue to increase.
I wonder if there's a correlation between those numbers, Eric, and the population shifts, meaning that, you know, I mean, I don't know. In northern Wisconsin, is the population growing? Is it staying the same? Is it down?
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Because if people are moving out of that area for whatever reason, then I think those numbers probably would reflect that, right?
Well, and what is interesting here is that, remember we talked about how they were talking about effectively putting in a ban of harvesting does for 3 years in like the northern third of the state.
Yep.
So here it says a slight statewide increase this year is due in part to a 24% spike in registrations in the northern forest region. So it's like, okay, that doesn't make sense to me because if we're having this significant decrease in population up there, how have they exploded? Or maybe it was just that last year was such a downfall.
People from Chicago.
Yeah, people. So there are some.
Here they go. Fibs coming up.
So it looks like the southern part of the state is the one that is really kind of impacting this the most because
in a positive or negative way.
In a negative way in terms of overall harvest numbers. Okay. So in addition to the 24% spike in increase in the northern forest region, central forest, where I go, is up 8%. Central farmland region, so that's like Madison, like middle of the state, is up 4%. And then southern farmland is the outlier, down 18%, which is so odd to me because there's so many frickin' deer everywhere.
Well, here's the other thing, too, when you talk about southern
weather.
Right, weather, but also how about how much is public, how much is private?
Right.
I mean, if you have a lot of private land, private landowners that aren't allowing people to hunt on their land.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I haven't gotten an invite yet.
Oh, man.
Wag says you're always on the golf course. That's your problem.
That's exactly.
My term of shooting birdies and your term of shooting birdies are vastly different.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, that's great. Right. So that is pretty interesting just to see that and how that's impacted things.
When the Wisconsin holds the youth hunt, like you just said, we got these numbers and we've just been talking about this. Are the youth hunts available to non-residents, or is you strictly a resident? So I'm going to say, can a non-resident come up and buy a youth hunt? And my second point would be, due to the fact we're down here in the southeastern part or the 5-county area or wherever you want to, it comes at maybe a different time. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Both.
that's just
Yeah,
grasping
both
because the
legs.
whole state of Wisconsin and WIAA has football, basketball, throughout the wrestling, throughout the state, but volleyball. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess the biggest question for me would be the non-resident. Can non-residents youth hunt?
So it does say that the youth season is open for both residents and non-residents.
Oh, okay. So, that answers that
So youth hunters with or without hunter education certification are eligible to hunt while under the supervision of a mentor.
question. Okay. So there you go.
So, which is good. I mean, and it's another one of those things. I guess the whole segment kind of trend here is that it's good to find different ways to get them included early, because you get them, I was saying that, it's nice to have that kind of opportunity for them to be able to get in and, have something very exclusive like that for the Boy Scouts to be able to go in and do that shed hunt. And, having some of those opportunities to be able to do that gets them excited, and they're like, oh, this is really cool. It's a way for us to be able to get involved with this. And it's they're building memories for them. And
48. Congratulations. You made it another.
Was that an easy way for me to just kind of slide that in there? So happy birthday, Mr. Paul Wagner. And if you're in need of catering or anything, I actually was in there this week just kind of talking about what the next year looks like. And if you have a Thanksgiving dinner that you don't want to make all the food for, they will certainly do that.
That's becoming very, or I shouldn't say very popular, but more popular, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And, I think that there's just so much that goes into holidays now that if you can take a big piece of the puzzle out of it and have a nice, delicious meal that you just have to reheat, I think that is very appealing to a lot of people.
Do they, when you talk about Bunzel's having, what do they provide? Do they provide everything?
You can customize what you'd like, but they do
even the pumpkin pies, everything?
They do it all. So they've got Thanksgiving and Christmas. So they do it for both of them, and they're already taking orders. They've really started kind of, getting everything ready. So they don't forget the kids when planning for Thanksgiving. Pick up our Thanksgiving cookie kits even.
Ooh, there you go.
So they do have a lot, and like I said, it just makes it super easy for you to get ready for the holidays when you don't have to worry about that big piece of the puzzle. So
how do they get a hold of Bunzel's?
You can go to their website, but you can also just give them a call. Either way, they take orders right over the phone, so it's pretty simple. They try and make it as easy as possible for you. So call ahead, plan ahead, and then they just schedule a pickup time for you to come and grab it in the days leading up to the holidays.
As you guys know, my sons range in the age from 22 to 34. And some are married, some have kids, they all have girlfriends. They all have very active lives. So, Wags, you'll like this. So, for the first time, we are creating a holiday this year called Thanksmas. Because with the Christmas holiday and with the boys, we will get together. The other thing, too, is that on Thanksgiving night, Dad has a Green Bay Packers game. That's going on as well. So we have the Packers playing. So we are creating what we're calling Thanksmas. And so it is actually the weekend after Thanksgiving, and we're celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas at the same time. So we're doing kind of a brunch, Thanksgiving style brunch, then taking a break, games, different things like that.
Yeah.
And then we're coming back about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe closer to 6. We're going to hit it hard for a Christmas dinner.
Nice.
Yes. So we're going to try it this year. It's called Thanksmas. That's what we're going to call it.
Awesome.
That is. You will be napping. After that day, you will have about a 7-day nap.
That's
because
right.
you're gonna be
That
so
is
full.
hilarious.
That's crazy this year. If memory serves me correct, the Packers play on that Thursday, and then the next day, the Badgers play Minnesota on that Friday morning game. It's a quick turnaround.
Wow.
Let's leave it at that.
So to answer your question, they have roasted carved turkey, mashed potatoes, side of gravy, traditional stuffing.
Did you say roasted and carved?
Roasted and carved.
Okay, I thought he said roasted carp for a minute. I'm
Oh,
like, what?
yeah.
Nope.
Sweet potatoes, green bean casserole.
Sorry, Paul, can't make it this year.
Yeah.
Saw the menu.
I'd rather not have carp.
I'm going to skip that.
Cranberry relish, pumpkin pie, dinner rolls, and then and this is only available from the 25th through the 30th of November for their Thanksgiving, and
So-
then they'll have a Christmas one as well.
Quick poll. How many guys are yam guys? Sweet potato guys?
You put marshmallows on them and toasting them?
No.
No, then I'm not.
How about
doing
you, Wags?
Nothing. I don't like sweet potatoes, and I don't like
I don't
cranberries.
like sweet potatoes, huh?
Nope.
that. What
was
a
quick.
solid answer that was.
Nope.
No wavering on that one.
So Drew and
But
Kate.
I did find out something that you probably all know, because I don't like cranberries, and I remember when I was a kid, they'd always come out of the can, and like when you shake, you open up the top of a can and you can't get it, you're shaking it, you can't get the stuff out, right? So again, I'm very, very old, and I'm learning this at a late. So I saw this person take the can. And I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, hey, good luck getting that out. And they take a knife, they flip the can over, pop a hole in it with a knife, just stab it, make it like a inch slit hole, and then boom, slam it on the ground. The thing comes out perfect. Air release, or whatever you want to call it, some type scientific anomaly. But all you do is pop a hole on the bottom side, you open up your top side, boom, hit it on the table, and it's out.
You remember those old school bottle openers that had where you hooked it and there was kind of like a point on the top?
Yep.
Well, that's what my mom used, Wags. She would do that exact same thing. Like, she used to use that for Carnation. Was it Carnation canned milk? You do that on the side to pop the hole in it. She would do that for that too, and then boop, comes right up.
I never.
The more you know.
I don't know why, but the only thing I could think of as you were describing that, Wags, is the dough can. How there's the little hole in the bottom and it releases the suction. I don't know why that just was like.
So everybody knows about it.
From my
Everybody knows about it except me.
And it's all so healthy for us. There's no doubt about that. So you know what? We're rambling on here. Wags came to the show today.
He's got his homework done.
He's got some homework done. So we're going to step back. And Mr. Paul Wagner, the platform is yours.
I just, as we were talking, and I'm being introduced to different individuals throughout the state of Wisconsin and the people that are in charge.
Bars.
The one thing, I had a couple topics, and the one I want to trust for is because due to the circumstances with weather and weather related, if by chance there's snowfall this year as you go out deer hunting, especially up in the northern area, and you come across a bear den, please, he says to me, he goes, get to that bear den, please stay at least 30 yards away. I go, what? He goes, yeah, we'd prefer you not to, just stay 30 yards. I said, I'll be back down in Wisconsin. I'll be down in Dodge County if I see that. And he says, you're supposed to pin the location, and then DNR will take over for that. And I believe it's because of that situation where they don't know if we're going to have snow or not. They don't want to be exposed, and obviously the populations will suffer. And then the other thing that I really thought was really cool, and I really wish I could have gotten in depth on all the statistics. These guys ranked the states in the United States on whitetail deer harvests, whitetail destinations, whitetail everything. Of course, Wisconsin came in at number one, but the thing that kind of threw me off was they had this whole list of items that they wanted to check off, and they were going to call multiple states. It comes down to certain states don't even sell deer tags. It's considered a hunting license, and you can hunt multiple species. So you couldn't go down strictly to whitetail deer licenses sold. Some states, over 30% of their contacts would not give out deer populations, would not give out deer harvest numbers. And I always thought that was a transparent thing. And us in Wisconsin here, I've always seen that, and we always know exactly. Eric, you always go over it. You tell us exactly how many does, how many antlers, how many antlered bucks were shot. It's funny that some don't. And then the last thing that was really surprising, but now when I look back at it, Iowa was ranked 15th. And though we all know Iowa is the whitetail destination, second to Wisconsin, but the availability became a very, very big card in this play. And that was the fact that it's hard to get into Iowa. It's hard to harvest. It's hard for non-residents. There's a lot of obstacles and hurdles that must be jumped. So that'd be the reasoning why Iowa drops down to 15. But again, Wisconsin, our Wisconsin whitetails ranked number 1 in the country. Number 2 was Texas.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think you have to take a lot of those factors in, because anybody from anywhere in the country can come to Wisconsin. They can just walk to a Walmart or a bait shop or Cabela's or whatever it is, and they can go in and they can buy a hunting license at any point in time. Doesn't matter; it never shuts down. Whereas with Iowa, it could be 5 years before you draw that tag. So it's just It's very appealing for a lot of people, and I think maybe there's just like this fascination with it because it is so hard to get into, and they have a very nice, healthy, mature deer
I would
population.
like to see the comparison between public and private land in Wisconsin and in Iowa. Okay. And I'm just curious to find out, Wags, and I don't know if you know this, but how much of the land is public that you can hunt on and how much is private in Iowa? Because my assumption is there's probably not a lot of public hunting land in Iowa. That would be my guess.
Go on. I'm sorry.
No, the other thing is that they're closer to Illinois than we are, so they probably know better not to let. I'm kidding, of course, but
but like Iowa has the funding or the feed. Brain fart here. They have a program where you can donate your venison to the families of need in Iowa. Iowa started that program. I know it's got a term. I'm not sure about that. That'd be very interesting to see the public-private. Kansas, when we hunt our farm in Kansas, now that farm, I know that even though there's a lot of land, a lot of these farmers in Kansas have opened up their property to let's just say a quote-unquote non-publicized public hunting ground. So if you do your research and you do your homework, you can actually find private lands in Kansas that you can public hunt. And I'm going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa has something like that. The problem is I pay $60 a year because I don't get a kill tag and I get a preference point. And sooner or later, I'm going to get this kill tag for Iowa and I'm going to be like, well, now where do I go? So now you have to go find a place to go. And hopefully Iowa has like a working agreement where, I don't know if it's a tax break, I don't know if it's something, but something in Kansas where if you dig deep enough, you can find private lands that are open to the public.
So you'll be surprised to hear this. I did find, and this is not hunting land, but this is just public versus private land for states. Wisconsin is number 20 on the list with 17.8 being public lands, 82.2% privately held. Okay. And then you scroll all the way down to number 47, public lands in Iowa, 2.8%.
Bingo. I called it.
97.2% is privately held.
That's why.
What does it got for Kansas?
Kansas is even worse, 1.9%.
See,
well,
that's
because the majority is farmland.
Farmland,
yeah. Farmland.
These people have thousands and thousands.
They have hundreds and thousands of acres, yeah. You know, it's funny, Wags, you mentioned about, trying to find places to hunt. There is a subscription service, or not subscription service, there's a website that I subscribe to. That I guess that would make it a subscription service, Tim.
OnX?
Yes. No, it's I'm trying to think what it is. It's a real estate website, but what it does, it gives me Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan places that either you can, it's a land lease type deal.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to think of what it is. But anyway, there is land in Iowa that you can lease.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of it.
Right.
Because whenever I see Iowa, I look at that first. And let me tell you, boys, it's really expensive. Really, really expensive.
I wonder if we're looking at like a $6,000 or $7,000 per acre price tag here in the state of Wisconsin for like average land. Mm-hmm. I wonder what it would be for out there.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I won't tell you how much, but A guy I went to high school with has what's the family farm that he inherited in La Crosse County.
Okay.
And he and his brother have decided to, and his sisters have decided to put it up for sale because his mother is on her last legs. And so he told me they had it appraised and then what it's valued at. And I will tell you it's almost $6,000 an acre right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which maybe doesn't surprise you, but.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what it was. Wags and I were just had this conversation. Maybe, I don't know, what was that, Wags? 3-4 weeks ago? Right. When you were looking at some of that adjacent property out there, and we were just having the general question, and we asked our buddy Luke from Land Guys and just said, hey, for this area, what is the kind of, like, what's your going rate really for what you expect to see?
And they have, I think the total acreage, Wags, between tillable land and hunting land is about 300 acres, I think. And so the thing is that they're in this dilemma that, the history, it's been in the family forever, and to give it up and that type of stuff. And now it's a question of, do we sell it whole? Do we parcel it out? What do we do with it?
Yeah.
And from a family situation, what it's valued at, to try to buy the other family members out, it's a lot
impossible.
of I mean, it is impossible. That's a good way to put it. It is impossible.
Yeah, and I think sadly that's the way some of those go, that you just end up losing it because, say the three of us have this piece that we're all together, and then all of a sudden we look at the valuation and it's $1 million for this property. I mean, one of us, no matter what your financial position is,
Right.
I mean, that's a big check to cut. $250,000, $1/3 to buy
The
somebody
sad part
out.
about it is I just wish they would have hung onto my land a lot longer than I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we got to put a wrap on this show today, boys.
Button it up.
Yeah, so what are we doing this weekend? What do you got cooking?
What am I doing this weekend? Well, I had a wedding yesterday, and then just trying to kind of get everything together for gun season. So it'd be nice if I could get out and sit. I'm going to try and get out a couple days this week, and then, just trying to get everything together, and hopefully we can have a successful harvest this upcoming week then.